Welcome back to an all new Whole Creations podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Odman. Today, I'm going to be interviewing a man who God has used to greatly impact my life back in my teenage years. I still remember when I was having a hard time in 8th grade, God brought Dr. Frank Gaskill in my life, who was like a mentor to me that helped me to keep on moving forward, even though the times were rough. So, with all that being said, I'm Ryan Odman. Let's get to it with Dr. Frank Gaskill. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Odman, and this is my friend, Dr. Frank Gaskill. Actually, he's not even a friend. He's more of a mentor. How are you, sir?
Good. I'm doing really good.
Good. It's good to see you, man.
It's good to see you.
Oh, man.
It's really good to see you. You kind of have the young Lando Calrissian look, and I like it.
Ever since I left Charlotte, I've been watching Star Wars a whole lot more. So I'll take that compliment.
Good.
Oh man.
Good. Yeah.
Well, I hope to never let myself go like how that movie star did in remember in episode 6. He looks...
Yeah. Oh, I know. I can't even. I know. Yeah. But you look great.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. You as well. And I keep in touch with you on Facebook, and it's good to see you and seeing how you're raising your kids up and just being right there for them. So it's a beautiful thing. So.
Yep. Awesome.
All right. So today we wanted to talk about like Dr. G's story, because I've been very inspired over the years by Dr. G's story, and just more of the aspect of what it means to have high functioning autism. So as we all know, back in 2013, the diagnosis for Asperger's syndrome has turned into high functioning autism. However, I really liked the research that Dr. G brought to the table when I was back in high school. And so I just want to go and dive right into it, if you don't mind, Dr. G.
Yeah.
What made you want to start learning about the ASPE mindset? So Asperger's mindset.
Well, I got my bachelor's, master's, and PhD from the University of North Carolina. And that was when the word Asperger's kind of showed up on the landscape. And I was bullied and ignored and was very odd as a kid. I'm still odd and I don't really care. But as a psychologist, I started social skills groups for kids who were bullied. And I started looking around going, wait a minute. These kids are into Legos and Pokemon and Magic the Gathering and blah, blah, blah. And wait a minute, what's happening here? And so I dug into it, and then I stopped using the word Asperger's and autism, and I used the lemon continuum, because I don't believe in a label. It's the color of your eyes. You can't change it. You shouldn't change it. And so I built my social skills groups, I built my brand, and then I went into therapy. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I've seen Star Wars over 500 times. That means I'm on the spectrum. And I don't know. I just embrace it. I think it's the next level of human evolution.
Right.
And we wouldn't have Xbox or Apple or any of these things, or even SpaceX, which I'm only 30 minutes away from the launches right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, I was flying in from Charlotte 2 days ago, 3 days ago. And the pilot said, look out the window, you're going to see the SpaceX launch. And I'm like, oh my God. And then he said it got scrubbed because there was a cruise ship near the launch.
Gotcha.
But there's going to be a launch every week this entire year. So I don't know. It's just when I go to, say, a country club, which I don't do anymore, or I go to these whatever functions, like I can't stand it. Just like leave me alone. But if you put me at Comic-Con, or you put me at something similar to that, or a Lego convention, then I'm home. And there's a cat about to climb up on my chair. Yeah, the book I most highly recommend is called Neurotribes. It's by Steve Silberman, New York Times bestseller, a good friend, and it explains everything you will ever need to know.
I like that. So many different ideas just came in my head about how we can navigate through this, because you touched on so many different things. And this is the great thing that I love about doing podcasts with people is there's many different avenues we can go in. So you're sharing that in a way that you have embraced the fact that you may have a little bit of aspiness, but you're not allowing the negative cons define you, but allowing the pros about how you are very hyper focused define you.
Yes,
I like that.
Yeah, it's what you and I have talked about before. Jeez, this cat's killing me. It's water, lemon flavored water, lemonade, a lemon, and a lemon farm. And I'd say I'm in between lemon flavored water and lemonade. When you and I met, you were definitely lemonade, but I don't detect it any longer. I feel like you found your purpose, and it's really inspiring to me. Like you are, I mean, I know you do speaking and all that kind of stuff, but like, I'm very impressed with who you've become.
Thank you. Sorry
Bless
about that. Thank you. Oh man, that's never happened to me on a podcast.
Yeah.
But
who cares?
You told us back in social skills group that to be a great boyfriend, you need to be a great friend. And that did not make sense for years. It didn't make sense for years, but now it's starting to make a whole lot more sense. Oh, dude, there's a lot of bullet points that you dropped in us that we still remember. Like Cameron and Stuart, we oh my gosh, we could still remember all that to this day. So
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Shout out to old
friends. I yeah, absolutely. Like I completely agree. You know, it's usually a difficult journey for the Padawans and the younglings when they don't know what's happening.
Right.
But then once you embrace who you are, you just become a rock star, and that's what you are.
I love that. Thank you. And just so you know, some of the things that you taught me back in social skills group, I apply that with the students I work with today. So thank you.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That warms my heart. You're going to make me emotional. Stop it.
But really though, I don't work with, actually, no, the first 2 years at my job, I've worked with more of the severe cases, more the lemonade, you could say. But recently I've been embracing working with more of those that are like Aspies, like, it's a pleasure. And you see a lot of yourself in these kids, and it kind of like gets your heart in a good way and a bad way. Like, oh, I don't like that because I see myself in that. Or I'm like, yes, you're in the right direction, young guy. You're in the right direction. So
yeah, it's your Neurotribe. There's a guy that I would recommend that you reach out to.
Yeah, please.
His name is David Finch. He's New York Times bestseller. He wrote the Journal of Best Practices, and especially when you're in a relationship, it's a very, very important book to read.
Okay.
And he's out there in Colorado.
Okay.
I mean, I know you're in the West Coast, but if you message him on Facebook and say that you and I are friends, he will reply to you and you'll get him on your podcast.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I would love that. David Finch? I'm going to write that down right now.
Yep. David Finch, Journal of Best Practices. Great guy.
David.
You'll see he likes a lot of my stuff on Facebook too.
Journal of Best.
He was a writer for Second City, was a comedian. He has been a consultant for TV shows about the spectrum, and so it'd be a good connection for you.
Gotcha. So, actually, going off of that, I remember back in high school, you would always talk about like different famous people that are known to have Asperger's syndrome. Or so, what do you take on?
Be on the spectrum.
Right. So with how far we've come and us meeting new famous people, like what are your thoughts? Like I remember like you being so inspired by these mindsets. So like tell us a little bit about like who you've been inspired by lately. Like could it be Elon Musk? Like who are you inspired by?
Well, Elon Musk for sure. I wrote an article about him. He's got severe PTSD as well. So that's a little complicated. But the person I'm currently most inspired with is I'm with a new person right now. And I mean, she's on the spectrum and is just like, misses 2 questions on the SAT and is brilliant and reads social situations in a way that I can't. But we also both love Legos and video games and weird horror movies and all that kind of stuff, which has just been fantastic.
Yeah.
Bill Gates, I mean, he's definitely on the spectrum, but I'm not super impressed with him. I mean, there are a few people out there that I watch and I think, oh, okay, probably, but like I haven't interviewed him. I don't know for sure, but I mean, Elon Musk is, he's like doing ridiculously crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm all about whatever it is that he's doing.
Right.
But I think I've become much more introverted.
You think?
Because I don't really trust the humans the way I used to.
Really?
No. So when I meet people on the tribe, like, okay, this is cool. But especially with, Corona and all that kind of stuff, I just don't, I'm just like, goodbye.
Yeah.
Have fun, everybody.
Thank you for sharing that. I could definitely, can't say I can relate. There are times where, I'm like, whoa, like I definitely want to share my heart with this person, but like, could they, will they listen? So I hear you.
Right.
I hear you.
Yeah.
And then you wonder if they're going to use it against you in the future. So.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I've got a really, really, really tiny circle. And I've got my cat, Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah.
And I watched the Book of Boba Fett, which has sucked until this past week. It was incredible.
I haven't watched the last episode. I'm on the second to last episode. I'm like, whoa, he's back.
Oh, dude. Yeah, Ahsoka Tano is in this last episode. It was like freaking ridiculous.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I mean, I'm good. And I'm trying to do to Florida what I did to North Carolina.
Yeah. You made a lot of impact, I still remember the days where like, if you bring up Frank Gaskill on the street, people would know it by, yeah, or like, oh, that name sounds familiar. So you're well known and you've done a lot of great impact. You did some great things in Charlotte, my friend, and we're all so thankful for you.
Well,
So.
I'm thankful for you, Ryan. No, I really am. I mean, I've said this only a few times in my life, but when I get Alzheimer's and I'm sitting in a rocking chair and drooling all over myself, I'll remember your name.
Wow. You're going to make me emotional. Thank you.
No, I will. You mean a great deal to me, given your journey and everything that happened in your life.
Thank you.
Mom, dad, like, I am very inspired by you and your Facebook posts, and
Thank you.
I'm just like really, really impressed with the man you've become.
Thank you. Oh man. Yeah. I will say good news. My dad and I's relationship has improved tremendously.
I can tell.
You can tell.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell.
I will say, like, I hadn't seen him in 2 years. So like, this past Thanksgiving, I saw him and it was like the beginning to something new when we saw each other.
Yes.
And, yeah. And
I think he sees you as the man you've become. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but I think you've surpassed.
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whew. All right.
Whew. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, as a transplant Carolinian back to California, tonight is the Carolina Duke game.
Yeah.
And this past Saturday, I went to Chapel Hill.
Really?
And I was in the second row, and I got to see the 1982 national championship team, which included Michael Jordan.
Really?
And if you see on my Facebook page, you can see me doing a selfie with Jordan in the background.
Okay. I'll be sure to.
So there's that.
I'll be sure to.
And this is the other thing that's really cool about the human that I'm with right now is she doesn't know anything about sports ball.
Mm.
And I told her that, at the end of the game, we sing this song, this Carolina song.
Mm.
And little did I know, she watched a million videos about it, memorized the song, memorized the chants. And I'm like, what is happening? This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was fun, and it snowed, and it was just great.
Mm. Gotcha. That's amazing.
You got to be sure to tell your mom I said hello.
I will. One last bullet.
I love you, Ryan. I love you very much. Go ahead.
Love you too, man. Love you too. Actually, you pretty much touched on this. Tell us what keeps you going in your line of work.
I am definitely an entrepreneur and business oriented.
Mm.
I like to conquer territory.
Mm.
And I'm very goal oriented.
Right.
I have this thing that I didn't do with you, but I've done for the last few years is I have this little black book.
Mm.
And every day I write down my goals.
Mm.
And they're the first goals: make the bed, take a shower, get dressed, eat breakfast, feed the cats, water the cats. And then I start writing down business goals. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. And at the very end, I'll write down a reward. And tonight, the reward is Duke Carolina ball.
Okay.
And I've got to get it done. And that's my hyper focus, is getting goals completed.
Yeah. I can relate, because sometimes, like, when I have something in planned I'm going to do and I don't do it, at the end of the day, it's like, what the heck? And you get all tensed up and your mind is all cluttered. So you're right. I like that. It's very important to write down these goals and to eliminate them, because psychologically, when you're writing down these goals and you're really tackling it, it makes the clutter less and less.
Yes.
The more and more
Yes.
you tackle it.
That's right. That's right.
Well, with all that being said, for any of you guys out there, especially people, whole creations, I like calling you guys whole creations. I don't like saying autism, but men who are whole creations, especially men, and you're going into the dating phase, please check out David Finch's book, Journal of Best Practices, and do it together, because life together is best. And so.
Well, I'm going to leave you with a joke.
Okay.
And I wrote this.
I'm ready.
Who is the greatest social distancer in history?
I don't know who.
Bigfoot. What?
Well, thank you,
But
Dr.
here's the funny part. Here's the funny part. I shared that with a group, my social skills group, and they went, "That's not funny.
It's not.
That's not the right answer." And I went, "What?" They said, "It's Jesus." I'm like, oh God.
Okay, that's funny. No, that's funny. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. G, for joining us. And everyone, thank you. Have a great day. Whole Creations. Let's keep going. You have just completed an all-new Whole Creations podcast with Dr. Frank Gaskill and I. I hope you had a great time listening and watching. And if you would like to know more about Dr. Frank Gaskill, then please follow this link below. Overall, hope you guys have a great day. God bless.